Hi everyone, over the next few minutes I'll be showing you some quick examples of how you can send screenshots of your work, whether it be in an email or a Word document or even a social media post. Now, first few examples will be available for all clients, trader services and enterprise and professional, and then later on there'll be some examples more advanced and customizations using the publishing module, whether you have that as an add-on or as a professional or enterprise services client. That will allow you to put in things like chart headers, your logo for branding purposes, and other customizations that you can do. So let's get started on this chart here. Just a simple bar chart with a couple of indicators. So let's say I want to share that in a document. All I need to do is right click, go to the Actions menu, which is the running man, go down to Send To, and select Clipboard Bitmap. Now vector is high resolution, you could do that as well, but bitmap's perfectly fine. You'll also see there in the menu there's an image file, so we can actually take a snapshot and save it as a PNG image file that will be saved to your computer. You can do that as well, but this will just this will just save it to your clipboard. So we'll save as bitmap. You'll see in the bottom left corner there that little notice that pops up. It's now successfully copied to our clipboard. So all we need to do now is either open up an email or a social media post and then paste. So I've got a Word document here, so I can either Control V with my keyboard to paste, or I can right click, paste, and there's the image of that chart. Now if we go back to the chart, there are a few other simple things we can do to add some more details. So for example, we right click, go to the pencil, which is the properties icon. We can show watermark. Now I've got that by default. I've got that set to code or symbol. We can also use the page name or the closing price, but I'm going to leave it at code because we've got a watch list here. So as we scroll down the watch list, obviously that all updates, or the watermark updates as we go. Now we can also add captions to the chart. So show caption is a property there. Tick that box and you'll see it now tells us that the blue line is the 50 period simple moving average. So any other tool that we put on the chart, that will show up there as well. And we can also show chart key. Now this is a little box that gives us the values and the colors of all of those lines, and we can also click and drag, move that around, and obviously that'll be included on any screen grab that you take. There's one tool that I like. It's called Chart Element. That allows you to put on the chart any text information such as the name, the ticker symbol. If you've got fundamental data, then you can put sector, things like that. You can also put percentage changes or any script value as well. So let's right click, go to the wrench. I'm going to type element for chart element, and then as I select that, my cursor turns to a pencil and I just click and apply wherever I want. So I'm just going to click there. Now I've set my default setting to the time frame of the chart. So obviously as this is a daily chart, it will display daily. So if I change it to weekly, it will update like that. I also have some buttons at the top in my toolbar, DWM. That just by clicking those buttons will also change the time frame. So go to the videos and or search the knowledge base for custom toolbar, and that will give you more information on how you can add those sorts of buttons to the toolbar. But going back to the chart element tool, let's say I wanted the time frame on there, and I also want the name of the stock that I'm looking at. So I'm going to right click and select chart element again because it's the last tool that I use. It's at the top of the list, and I'm going to click, and again because it's a default, I've set the time frame as a default setting. I can right click, go to the properties, and then choose which field that I want. So we can either search in the search box, but let's say I want to put the name, and then one more. I can do chart element. I can put like the percentage change as well. So change percent, And again, because this is a daily chart, that's a 1%, 1.45% daily change. And as we scroll down the watch list, all those things will update as we go. So when we send to clipboard, so that's now copied. I'll go back to my Word document and I'll just Control V this time, and there you go. It's copied all that information, including the chart key and that information that I've just added via the chart element tool. Just click back onto the chart. Let's put another chart element on there. Right click, properties. Now we're not just limited by these fields here. We can put script values in there as well. So, or if you've got fundamental data on your account, then we can put things like market cap or sector name. So if I type sector in that search box, the first couple of options there, if you've got Bloomberg data, then that's data from them. But anything under fundamental field is our end of day data, fundamental data. So I want to select sector name. So automatic data processing is in technology services. So I'm just going to move that out the way, and then click on a random ticker in the watch list there, and you'll see that as we scroll down, that updates accordingly. Okay, so that was a few examples of how you can add information to charts that you publish. And now, as I mentioned earlier, that's available to all clients. But some of the things I'm going to show you now are just available for those of you with a professional services or enterprise services subscription, or have purchased the add-on publishing module. Now, I'll just show you some quick examples. If you want to learn how to do that, some of these chart headers, you can go to our video page, learn.optima.com. I'll just drag it over here, and there's a 10-minute video. I think it's lecture 18 on headers and footers. It goes into detail of how you can create your own. But for this purposes of this video, I'm just going to show you some examples of what you can do. So right-click, go to the pencil, which is the properties. You'll see header. Now, if you haven't created any yet, then there won't obviously be anything in the list. But here's an example. So this is a simple one. This is just name, ticker, and I've got the time frame in the left and the daily percentage change in the right hand side there. And like everything else, when we scroll down, everything updates as you would expect. So that's a simple one. And again, as you'll see in the video on the learn.optima.com site, you can change the size, and everything is very customizable as these other examples. So here's what I've called performance. So I've got some percentage changes over certain time frames. This one here, I've got some scripting values, like is the 50-day moving average higher than the 200-day? True. Various measurements, RSI 5, for example. And then on the right-hand side, we have some the PE ratio from our fundamentals, and also dividend yield. One more example I'll show you is fundamental data. So we can put in market cap and sector and industry. And again, as we send to clipboard, bitmap, Word, Control V to paste, there it is, all there, nice and clean for you to share or email or post. So really much easier than messing around with snipping tools and things like that. Now, not only can you put your logo in the header, so I've got an example here. This is just obviously our little icon that I've put up there. We also have a logo tool. So if you don't want to put your logo up in the chart header, say you want to put it somewhere else on the chart, we have a tool that will allow you to do that. So right click, go to the wrench or the spanner, type logo, and let's say I want it in the bottom right corner. Now the first time, obviously there's no image file. It doesn't know what to use, so it prompts you to choose a little PNG file. So beforehand you might want to get a little snip of your logo and save it somewhere. So I put mine in Optima Opt Logo. Would you like to save it as the default logo? Yes, and make a copy of the image so that it will always know where to find it. So I'll click yes. And what I can do is right click on that. Let's say I want to make it a little bit smaller, or if I want to change the transparency. That's how I like it. I'm going to go to the Running Man or the Actions and save settings as default. So now every time I use the logo tool, it'll have those settings. Actually, what I'm going to do is right click and add to toolbar. So now I've got this button up here. It says IMG for image, but I'm going to right click, change the label to logo. So now anytime I want to put my logo on the chart, I can just click it and put it on the chart wherever I want. Okay, I hope that's been helpful. As always, if you have any questions or need help with anything, please let us know. We have lots of help on our knowledge base, help.optima.com/kb, and also support@optima.com. Thanks very much.